It's time now for Countywide, a special presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. Join Paul David and Jen Cohen as they talk with our community's leaders, newsmakers, and people in the know. You'll hear about the hot topics that affect all our lives in Yavapai County. And now, here's today's Countywide.
Welcome to Countywide. I'm Paul David. As always, it's great to have you in studio today. Back with us is Elizabeth Munding, Red Rock Ranger District NEPA planner and Wilderness Staff Recreation and Wilderness Staff Officer with the Red Rock Ranger District, Patrick McGervey. Is it Red Rock or Coconino National Forest?
It's the Red Rock Ranger District on the Coconino National Forest.
Okay, but you are with the Red Rock Ranger District of the Coconino. Okay, because sometimes you guys spread out across the entire forest, but you are with the Red Rock Ranger.
Yeah.
All right, so
everywhere.
We had you in for a show recently. And we talked about Oak Creek Watershed Restoration Project. We took care of that. And we were going to talk about trails at the same time. And I said, well, why don't we do a separate show? And here we are, we're going to do a separate show. And we're going to talk about trails. And at the time I mentioned, we've got new trails coming. We've got trails that aren't supposed to be there. We've got old trails that have been used so much that they need refurbishing. So there's all kinds of trail talk.
Yeah.
What's new with trails?
Well, I think a big thing is the Secretary of Agriculture, which oversees the Forest Service. He recognized how important trails are to the National Forest System, and he's designated 15 areas across the country that are priority trail areas, and Sedona and the Red Rock Trails happen to be one of those areas. So, you know, we've got over 400 miles of trails in the whole area. Yep, it's pretty huge.
Within the Red Rock Ranger District, there's 400 miles of trails.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So everybody sees the need to sustain that and manage it effectively. And so the Red Rock Ranger District has been pretty proactive, you know, the last 10 years in moving forward with that and making this really special place for trails year-round, really. So we're continuing that this spring and looking at additional projects that we can do.
How long have you been with the district and working with the trail system?
You know, I've been on the forest for about 10 years. So
okay.
2010, well, 8 years, yeah.
So what have you seen? You have to have seen a change in trail usage, because trails were big when I was a kid living in the area. But we talked before the show that it's changed so much. My wife and I have gone for, I told you before the show, but for everyone watching, listening, I've gone to the Bell Rock Trailhead. And we struggled to find a parking space there. And when we walked back in there, it was amazing how many people are back on that trail. It's just hundreds of people, it seemed like, back on the trail. We did Devil's Bridge, which was also extremely busy off of Dry Creek Road. Unbelievable, the amount of cars parked up and down Dry Creek Road. The trail, that parking area that was put there is just jam-packed with cars.
Yeah, that's pretty
and that one's different, too, because I noticed that you've got vehicles driving back in there. Some of them are the rental OHV type style vehicles that are driving back in there, and you got people walking around there, and you got this thing coming around the corner, and they're going pretty fast. So that was kind of an interesting experience. And then we did the Baldwin Trail down Verde Valley School Road near Red Rock Crossing, and we hiked all the way down to the crossing, Red Rock Crossing area, and then we hiked all the way back out. Yeah. And it was a little bit quieter down the Baldwin Trail, but I noticed that the parking area was very full of cars, and people were no longer parking in the parking area, they were alongside the dirt road down there.
Right.
So
I think that's, you know, that Sedona area is definitely a hub, right? So everybody's kind of drawn to the Red Rocks, and that's one piece of our trail system is the things around Sedona, and we continue to grow that to try to spread use out, try to provide different parking areas. But then there's also a component to our district that's the communities along the Verde Valley that also, you know, have a need for recreation and trails as well. And so trying to build some of those trail systems out. You know, Cornville is a good example. You know, outside of Dead Horse State Park, we've done a lot of work there, and now we're looking at Camp Verde. So some of the communities. So I think there's kind of two different topics on trails on the Red Rock Ranger District.
What kind of an increase do you think you've seen on those trails in the years you've been there?
You know, I don't have numbers on that.
But you have to notice that there's just a tremendous. I didn't know hiking on trails was as popular. Let's put it that way. I didn't know hiking on trails was as popular. But we need to get better fit. We need to go do some trail hiking. And over the last few weekends, it's really opened my eyes as to just how popular hiking has become.
our visitor center sees a huge number of people, and we find that there is not a downtime anymore. You know, people come in and we try to advise them on where to go to hike, and we do try to diffuse it, as Pat was saying. You know, where can people go that they may have that quieter experience, and so it is hard to have exact numbers on that, but there is not a downtime anymore for Sedona. So we're looking to rehab the trails we have. They have heavy use, as well as to expand some with this project coming up that we have.
Okay, where do we want to start with the exact trail systems? How do we want to talk about rehabilitation, the new trails, or do we want to talk about decommissioning trails?
Yeah, let's talk about the Sedona area.
Okay.
And one other thing that's changed or continuing to grow is Sedona is a world-class mountain bike destination. Our trail system for mountain biking is one of the best in the country, and that also sees a lot of increased use and a lot of kind of pinches folks in different places. So we're looking to provide those opportunities, and sometimes before we can provide those opportunities, we find illegal trail construction. And one of the areas we're looking at is West Sedona. We're calling it the Western Gateway area. And so it's kind of in the Dry Creek area, but west, kind of Yavapai College campus there, just behind their Gardner Trail.
Okay, kind of across from Red Rock Loop Road area.
Yeah, right across from the high school, yeah. We've seen a large number of unauthorized trails being built or being ridden in that area. And so we kind of target that. That's an important place. People want to go there, and it's a good place to expand our trail system. And so we're looking at about a 30-mile trail system on that west side of Sedona there to kind of give that opportunity, a new trailhead there. So 30 miles, I say about 15 of those are adoption of some trails that already exist there that aren't part of our forest system. So adopting those, and then looking at about another 15 or 16 miles of closing trails that are there, trails that are kind of built unsustainably or go through sensitive areas, things like that. So that's a big addition to our trail system, 30 miles.
30 miles over there by the Red Rock Loop area behind Yavapai College. Okay, sort of.
Kind of winds its way in and out of Dry Creek.
And out in the boonies back in there. I mean, that's definitely wilderness back in there.
It's not designated wilderness, but it's a kind of undeveloped area.
Sure, it's undeveloped, yeah.
From a NEPA point of view, National Environmental Policy Act, we've been discussing that with the public even back in 2016. So they've been hearing about this for a while, and we've taken that input, and we're going to, now that we've refined the project, we will be rescoping it. But this Western Gateway that Pat was talking about is kind of the heart of part of what we're calling our Red Rock Trails Enhancement, that we're going to be working on the planning and finishing that this year in 2018.
Are we able to use a mountain bike on any trail in Sedona right now, or are there certain trails designated specifically for mountain bikes and specifically for hiking?
That difference comes with areas inside the wilderness area and outside. So bicycles aren't allowed in the Red Rock Secret Mountain Wilderness area. They aren't allowed in Mund's Mountain Wilderness area. And then a lot of trails are just not conducive to riding your bike. Maybe some of the, you're hiking up a canyon and stepping on steps and.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, we don't typically, we try to open it to as many uses as possible, but there's things that mountain bikes like, and there's things that hikers like, and things that equestrians like, and sometimes they don't.
I was going to say, let's not forget the equestrians, because I've noticed on every hike I've been on, you could tell there's been a horse that went by this area. Yeah. So equestrians are out there as well.
Yeah, and the Western Gateway is a good example. There are some horse properties in that area, and so we're expecting equestrian use out there as well.
Okay, we'll probably see an increase on that as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, and so we're trying to provide additional opportunities so it's not so focused on Bell Rock Pathway or where some of these areas you've seen the increased use. And then also looking at our existing system around Sedona, we've got some trails just near the Bell Rock area, Dairy Spring and Pine Valley, that could be really nice trails, but they're kind of on these fall lines, they're eroding, they're kind of unsustainable. So we're looking at reconstructing quite a few miles over there. Just north of Jack Canyon and that area. Okay, so another area out there. Can we take our first break already again? Oh, great. It's crazy. Elizabeth Munding and Patrick McGervey in studio today for the Red Rock Ranger District. We're talking about trails. Stick around. Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
This is Bruce Morrow, Transportation Manager for Cottonwood Area Transit. Remember, we cover the entire Verde Valley in Sedona. Cottonwood Area Transit has you covered wherever you want to ride in the Verde Valley, all day, every day. Take Cottonwood Area Transit through Clarkdale, Verde Village, and from 26 locations in Cottonwood. With Verde Links, it's a quick and easy trip to Sedona every day. Don't forget our connectors to Camp Verde. Visit cottonwoodaz.gov for Cottonwood Area Transit and take a seat. Let's go ride.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Ah, Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Countywide. We're back here with the Red Rock Ranger District, NEPA planner Elizabeth Munding, and Recreation and Wilderness Staff Officer Patrick McGervey. We're talking about trails. Right now we're actually talking about new trails coming to the Red Rock Ranger District. We talked about 30 miles, not just mountain bike trails, but hiking, biking, and equestrian over by between Yavapai College and kind of Upper Red Rock, Lower Red Rock Loop Road area, out in that forested area there. And then you mentioned Jack's Canyon Road in the village of Oak Creek.
Yeah, so just southeast of Bell Rock,
okay.
You know, the Dairy Springs and Pine Valley, those trails. And those are existing trails that we're just trying to realign so they're a little more sustainable, a little more enjoyable for everybody. So they, you know, maybe we'll see some more, spread some use out on that side of the things.
And then where do we see some more new trails coming?
Yeah, so like we were talking about earlier, you know, we certainly have a need to provide trails for our other communities, not just Sedona. This isn't the Sedona Ranger District, I guess it used to be, but you know, we need to serve the whole Verde Valley, and so we've been working with the town of Camp Verde and trying to see what some needs are out there. And they're developing a new sports complex east on 260, just past the Verde Ranger Station, a new town park. And so we're looking to provide some hiking opportunities from there. So we're looking at a kind of stack loop system out there that'll go up on some of the limestone buttes and really neat views of the Verde Valley. So, so yeah, so that's kind of a different, you know, a little further down the road from that Sedona area, but trying to serve these outlying communities as well.
So that's in the planning process then. Is it that horse, I'm trying to remember the name of that park now, and it's not coming to me.
No, I think it's just the sports complex. So
it's a sports complex.
Ball fields. It's not built yet.
Okay, they've got that, and then they've got this park coming. It's a national park that's coming in. That's what it is. Never mind. Different story. All right, so, okay, these are new trails coming in. Now, we've got, as you said, 400 miles of trails already established that need to be maintained on a regular basis. And from the crowds I've seen on these trails, that's got to be a difficult job, but we do have a lot of folks that help out with that. But how do we keep up on rehabilitation of trails like this?
Well, a lot of user-created trails occur out on the ground, and we've seen that in all these areas Pat's been talking about. And so in some of our effort, we're going to actually go ahead and adopt some of those user-created trails that do make sense, that are just not officially part of our trail system. And in other cases, as he said, we're going to be rehabbing those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's work to be done on all that, 400 miles, here and there and everywhere on those 400 miles. Now, when I hiked Bell Rock Trailhead, I noticed there were several locations as you, the very first trailhead was where we parked, and we went in, and I noticed that I think we had split off of the Bell Rock Trail. We were actually doing the Bell Rock Courthouse Butte Loop. And as I got down there, I noticed that all of a sudden there was some signage about this is an unauthorized trail area, and rehabilitation is taking place. Please stay off. And as you look up past this small sign that was there, you could see that the Forest Service had come in, and you guys have been doing some work on these trails that aren't supposed to be there. They look like trails to me that somebody blazed just to get to the side of the mountain to take a picture, or maybe do some climbing or something like that. But eventually you get enough of those going along, and you got all that rain coming through there, it's just going to wash all of that out. And that's the problem.
Yeah, and we get a lot of visitors that aren't quite sure where they're going. And
we hear about that all the time too.
You know, the search and rescue issues.
They took a turn, and all of a sudden, where am I?
So you know, trying to keep those corridors clear so it's understandable. Some people can't read a map or GPS very well. Understanding where they need to go, and so that's definitely a busy area, like you said. And so we're trying to kind of wrap people around where they should be going and not get them lost on all these social trails, as well as the environmental damage that comes from all those social trails. I
thought it was kind of interesting what you guys put in the trails. You've got some sticks in there, some logs maybe, not even logs, just
like
larger
brush,
and it's just kind of litters all the way through where the trail system is. And you could see some of them. I noticed that there had been quite a bit of erosion that had taken place because enough people had walked through there to create a bit of a valley, and the rain had run through there, and now it's this bigger valley.
So when we brush those unauthorized trails, it doesn't, two things, you know, it keeps people off of there. Nobody wants to wade through brush. You know, it keeps people off of there, but it also captures that rainwater, and it kind of keeps it in place, and it also holds that soil in place a little bit too. So it's pretty fast and easy. We can do a lot of miles of that kind of brushing unauthorized trails. And so,
how often does that happen, where you go out and decommission a trail?
It's going on all the time, really.
Really?
We've got a trails crew of 10 guys this winter, and mostly doing maintenance on established trails, system trails, but also as they see some of these other unauthorized areas, trying to button those up. So. So it's kind of ongoing, and sometimes it's really targeted. Like we're going to look at Western Gateway and really target some of those areas, but a lot of times it's just kind of a routine maintenance.
And that maintenance is done not only by our staff. When people say, where are the Forest Service? We're out there. We're doing a lot of that trail maintenance, but it's our partners as well. They are really helping us maintain these trails. And that's what part and why Sedona has been picked as one of those 15 priority sites. Our trails are known throughout the nation, and we have our partners to thank for a lot of that work.
Yeah, it's the world, I would say, more so than the nation. I mean, the world comes to Sedona to see the Red Rocks and to see that area. And anymore, what you see is people coming to Sedona, but now Cottonwood is wine country. Page Springs, Cornville, wine country. Jerome, a little bit of wine country, and it's this ghost town that's revitalized. And you know, there's a lot of stuff to see now between Verde Valley and Sedona that really draws a lot of people from all over the world here.
Yeah,
wouldn't you agree?
It's a great place.
It is. It's an amazing place. I mean, it's just great weather year round. And there's a ton of things to see and do, and a lot of outdoor recreation too. Is what I've noticed that people really come here for, is just to be outside, We got to take another break already.
Okay.
You good with that? Yeah, you have to be. All right, Elizabeth Munding and Patrick McGervey from the Red Rock Ranger District in studio today. Stick around, Countywide back in just a couple minutes.
These hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Oh, yeah. Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Being prepared is a part of who you are. but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
Welcome back to Countywide. We've got just a few minutes left in the program. We're talking about trails within the Red Rock Ranger District, and it's not just Sedona area, but we've talked about the Cornville area, and Camp Verde as well. Cornville's got some new trails, right?
Yeah.
Some new trail systems going on, already being built or in or
yeah, I think
coming.
we're pretty close to built out there.
Just popped into my head.
Yeah, but it's really neat. Backbone's kind of the main trail through there. Connecting Verde Santa Fe with.
I thought so because it's linking a larger group together, right? I mean, this even winds up down at like Dead Horse Ranch State Park, I want to say.
Yeah, that's a little further north,
but there's trail systems over there as well.
Yeah, and we new trailheads, and they're equestrian friendly, and so really great that we're seeing these new systems around at these other communities. There's not just Sedona.
Yeah, there's not enough Pats, there's not enough Elizabeths to go out there and fix all these trails. There's not enough Paul Davids either. But there's a lot of people out there that really do care about the trails and step forward. And if anybody's watching or listening and wants to volunteer, you'd be more than happy to take them in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We're doing trail days at least 2 days a week, typically Thursdays, Saturdays, and those are with various partners in the community that, a bike shop will sponsor a day. But we've got a calendar on the Coconino National Forest website with all those dates, and anybody's welcome to come participate.
It'd be a good chance for me to go out and see if it's something I'd be even interested in, right?
Yeah. And
so what do I need to have?
You just come out, have enough water for the morning.
Have enough water.
Sometimes these groups are sponsoring a lunch, so you might get a free slice of pizza for working. I don't know.
But it starts in the morning.
Starts in the morning, and typically we work a long morning, and by 1 we're kind of wrapping up for the day, so folks can eat lunch and continue on their day. And working on trails that are really important to mountain bikes, working on trails that are important to hikers, working on trails that are important to motorcycles in other areas. So a lot of different folks are involved with that.
That's neat.
Yeah, and then we've got Friends of the Forest, which are a huge asset in so many ways to the Red Rock Ranger District.
Sure.
They're doing a ton of trail work. They have been for decades. So those are some guys that are just really getting a lot done out there.
We've had them in recently too.
Yeah. And the Red Rock Trail Fund.
Yeah.
They also, not only do they help provide manpower, but they also help us provide funding. I mean, with the funding that the National Forest Service is able to garner, we do need supplemental, and so those folks help us as well.
Yeah, tourism's such a driver, and the Sedona Red Rock Trail Fund is able to kind of tap into these businesses and see these opportunities where people understand trails are important for business to bring people here, and so these businesses are giving back, and Red Rock Trail Fund's kind of capturing that.
I've got an idea for you guys. Adopt a highway from ADOT, adopt a trail, adopt a mile at a time. Business can put their sign up there. Once a month, they got to come out and police up their mile of trail.
Yeah, and so we've done that.
Charge them an arm or a leg or both, and then just do. We're out of time.
Yeah,
but I was just thinking,
that's a whole different topic.
It is, isn't it? Okay, all right. I figured. Well, there's never enough time. Never enough time. Elizabeth, thank you so much again for sticking around and doing a show with me. Patrick, great meeting you and having you in for a couple of shows. Red Rock Ranger District, Coconino National Forest. All this information can be found on the Coconino National Forest website. Real easy to get to. That's Countywide. Thanks for watching and listening, and we'll talk to you again next time.